So first up, I came across this one. It's like a collection of articles that have been summarized by Perplexity, and the title of it is that tech firms cutting jobs to fund AI, not because AI replaced workers. See, it's widely talked about that AI is replacing the workforce, but this article has a unique take. It tells us that the tech firms are cutting jobs to fund their AI ambitions. So it continues on to say that as Meta prepares to cut 8,000 jobs on 20th May, a growing chorus of industry voices is challenging the narrative that AI is simply making the workers redundant. Instead, they argue, now this is the point to focus on, guys, that companies are slashing headcount to pay for the staggering cost of AI infrastructure itself. And we know that the companies now they are spending like hundreds of billions of dollars each year on AI. Facebook is projected to spend like Meta is project spend like $145 billion this year. Microsoft is almost spending $200 billion on AI. So we need to basically look into it and then make a informed narrative that what actually is happening behind the scenes, or we need to make a correlation over here, guys, because we are being told that AI is replacing the workforce, and this basically guides us that this could not be the case. So the cost argument. Zoho co-founder Sridhar Vambu stoked the debate this week by sharing a post from the Meta engineer Arnav Gupta and titled "The layoff will continue till we learn to use AI." So then it says that Vambu argued that rising costs for servers and GPUs, not automation replacing workers, are the primary driver behind workforce reduction. As employee salaries represent one of the few expenses company can immediately control. This makes sense, guys. The salaries that the companies give, they can control this. This is something that they have in their hand to control. And whenever you are operating a business, cost control is pretty important. But we need to continue to understand this better. Firms are cutting staff to redirect capital towards AI chips and data centers. This AI is not cheap, guys. There's a whole layer of infrastructure behind this, starting from energy, data centers, cooling systems, and all that. So the AI infrastructure that the companies get to run their models, etc., it's like pretty expensive. What they get from the hyperscalers, ultimately the costs add up, and they have to bring the money to put into that. And what this article tells us is that the cost saved from cutting jobs, that is driving this funding towards AI. So Vambu questioned whether massive AI spending is translating into real productivity gains, noting that whilst developers can write more code with AI tools, the measurable business impact remains unclear. Another thing that I have to mention is that all these big companies, including Anthropic, they are hiring people. OpenAI, Anthropic, they are hiring people. Now the thing is, if AI is that much capable, so why is it that the companies that are pushing the narrative that AI is gonna take away the jobs of the workforce, why are they hiring people? This is a question that we need to answer. So Gupta, who noted that he could be among those affected by Meta's forthcoming cut, framed the layoff as a combination of rising infrastructure costs, organizational restructuring, and investor pressure rather than AI directly replacing roles. AI will eventually, in my opinion, but it's not gonna be this soon, guys. So the numbers behind the shift. So it says that the scale of rebalancing is stark. Tech companies announced 81,747 layoffs in the first quarter of 2026. Oh my goodness. Check this out, guys. It says it's a 580% increase from the fourth quarter of 2025, according to the Kobise letter. I think this is a very well-known social media channel as well, and also a newsletter. Yeah, so there's like a subscription model over here. While Meta has raised its 2026 capital expenditure to between 125 to 145 billion, during an April 30 town hall, CEO Mark Zuckerberg attributed the cuts to capital constraints rather than efficiencies gained from AI, stating that as AI spending surges, the company must reduce its workforce to balance the budget. See, this is the bottom line, guys. As AI spending surges, the company must reduce its workforce to balance the budget. This necessarily doesn't mean that AI is capable enough to do the jobs that they are cutting off, but we need to keep this in mind, guys. Then it says an internal memo reportedly stated the layoffs would offset AI investment. This is exactly what we have been talking about before, a pattern across the industry. So now this article relates to what is happening across the industry. Meta is not alone. Oracle cut up to 30,000 jobs. Oh my goodness. We need to have a look at this, guys, on the internet. In January, it was estimated that Oracle is shaving 20,000 to 30,000 employees to free up 8 to 10 billion in incremental free cash flow for data center projects. Oof, this is exactly what we just talked about, guys. Companies including Amazon, Microsoft, Coinbase, and Block have all trimmed workforce this year while simultaneously ramping up AI investments. So, guys, this is the benefit of keeping an eye out on the AI news and AI stuff. So, what it essentially says over that AI funding is the primary driver behind companies cutting the jobs, companies laying off their workforce. It isn't necessarily that at this point AI is capable enough to do the jobs of those people, but the reason is that the companies have to put money into AI data centers, and also they are taking a bet on that. And what I think is that it's gonna be more demanding for the remaining people in these companies, and they will be the ones who have to like do the work of 4 to 5 people. Now how successful they are in that, only time will tell. But let me know in the comments what you think of this.